What have the humans done to you? I already lunged Badger and Biscuit. Now it's Wilson's turn. I just want to show you our view.
Is it cheese? Yes. Kenzie, cheese. Hey, say cheese. Where's Auntie Deidra?
Kenzie! Hi! You gonna lock Daddy in there?
Yeah. Do the bum drop.
Kevin!
I know I'm scared. I'm like, I feel like a 200-pound weight.
Okay, I have the world's sweetest child. I am doing laundry right now, and usually he just pulls it all off the table. I've had to refold this twice, but he just put his little arms around this pile of laundry and carried it to me in the bedroom. And, oh, here he comes for another arm load. He just took some socks to the bedroom. He keeps putting them on the bed for me. He's so sweet. Good morning. So I have everybody saddled. We're gonna start with Badger. Caden's got a snack. There's Pone Pone. Here we go. He's ready to watch you. You riding with Mom? You're gonna hold on with one hand at least. Thank you. For those of you who don't know how tall Badger is, I'm almost 5'10", and this is how I get on. So again, I am not a horse trainer and I'm not a professional barrel racer, so if you want some tips, you should probably go follow somebody professional. However, this is a drill that I like to do, and I'm going to start off slow with Badger just to let him kind of know what we're doing instead of just getting right into it. I don't like jamming on their face, so I feel like this kind of gives them a little bit of a heads up. So my focus and point of this drill is to work on speed, and I pick one barrel at a time to work on instead of working on the whole pattern. On the barrels that I'm not working on speed, I focus on stopping him in his spots, getting his hip in, shifting my weight to the outside, keeping my hands forward, and leaning back, and then leaning forward. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and start at a lope, and I pick the same line every single time. So I'm going to ride him just like I would at a jackpot, and I'm going to stop him at a second barrel, ask for his hip in, make sure my weight is on the outside leg, and I'm going to ask him to step forward, bend around his rib cage nice and soft, and leave straight. I'm choosing to walk between my other two barrels just because I'm focusing on only the first barrel, and it kind of is just saving his energy to be able to work that first barrel multiple times. You're gonna see that with Badger, I only work the first barrel doing this drill, and the only reason is because I don't feel like we have an issue with second and third, so therefore I'm not gonna spend my time picking on him on those other two barrels. So we're gonna go ahead and come at it again, and now he's coming in on the wrong lead. I let him switch his lead, he trips, and you can't tell from this angle, but he actually left that barrel pretty wide. I wasn't happy with it, so again, we just stopped at our second barrel, and I'm gonna repeat what I just did again, and I'm gonna go around the second barrel and walk to the third, stop at third, and start again. So although I do this drill for Badger, it's a lot for myself as well. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't scared running to the first barrel, and part of it is because we've had some issues there in the past with him blowing off the barrel and just completely missing it or going around the wrong side of it. So for me, this also helps build his confidence, it helps build my confidence, and it helps build our communication to one another. Now this is where I got a little braver and I actually kicked him. So you can see right here, I sit back and I ride. Open hand, forward, and I was really happy with that. So this was the last run that I did with him on this. My goal is to always leave and end on a positive note. So you can see right here, I'm really giving him a good pat and let him know I'm really happy with what he did. And then obviously I'm going to continue and finish just like I would with all the other runs. And then as soon as I was done here, he's not breathing very hard. He's in really good shape. So I just stopped, I get off him, I uncinch him, I take his bridle off, I pat him, walk him around a little bit, let him know he's done a good job, and just let him stand and think while I ride my next horse. And what this kind of does also is it kind of helps save your horse. So, and I mean, I think it kind of helps build up their lungs as well, because you're going fast and then slow and then fast and then slow. And I just like doing this because it helps you work on your problem areas without souring your horse. But you can kind of isolate each barrel and isolate each problem. So kind of instead of creating a new problem by trying all three of them, I like to just pick the barrel that I'm having an issue on, or the barrel that I want to work on, which is my first barrel. So I'm going to try and show you a little bit on Wilson, but to be honest, Wilson's in a little bit of a mood. So we're going to try it on a little bit of a smaller scale than what I would do with Badger. And P.S. Wilson's mood is brought to you by ponying another horse. So again, I'm going to give Wilson the same opportunity that I gave Badger. So I'm going to kind of just start at a slower speed just to kind of give him a heads up of what's about to happen. If you haven't already noticed, Wilson does like to go to the left barrel first. So here I ask him to stop, and he actually turns his hip in really nicely. And he continues forward, nice and calm, bent, and I'm really happy with it. So I'm going to leave square. You can see me patting him here because with his mood, I actually thought that was going to go a little bit worse, and he's listening really, really good. So you're about to see how we work through a miscommunication. I have my right leg on and my hand forward and open so there's no contact on his face. He decides to lean into my hand and lean into my leg. So what I do is I just keep the pressure on my right rein, keep the same flex. I ask for a counter bend, and what I'm gonna do is turn him around, start again at that same spot, and just ask him to do it nice and correctly and nice and soft. And this is another reason why I start doing this at a slower pace instead of a faster pace. Again, I don't like to jam on their mouth, so all I did was held the pressure until he released, and as soon as he released, I released, and then we continued on. So now we're gonna go ahead, pick up a lope, and see what we got. So he gets a little bit confused here, so again, I'm not pulling on his face, I'm just holding my hands there just to ask him to stop back in his spot, and as soon as he does, again, we just move on. If you've watched my videos before, you know that Wilson can be a very anxious horse. So again, right here, I like to encourage him to be relaxed. So I'm just letting him hang his head down, but I'm still riding in the position I would if I were making a run. So here you're gonna see Wilson and I communicate again. So he is a little unsure. So he puts his hip out, I ask for it in. He puts his hip out, I ask for it in. And he's gonna try it one more time, and I'm gonna ask for it in, and I relax my hands every single time he's in the correct position. Once he finally stands with his hips in, I'm gonna reach forward, give him a big pat, and then we're gonna move on. You can even see the minute that he drops his head and he gets, and he goes, oh, okay, this is what you want. I can do that. I felt like loping to his first barrel, he was really good, and I felt like there wasn't really anything else that I wanted to work on, so there's no reason for me to keep hammering into him going around the first barrel. So now I'm gonna go ahead and focus on the second barrel. His second barrel was quite nice. He kind of loses his balance a little bit and switches to his left lead, but I want you to notice what he does on his third barrel. I want you to notice how he comes in, stops in his spot, and drops his head and immediately relaxes. There's no more communication issues on third barrel, so now I'm actually going to move on from his second barrel and focus on the third barrel. So since this is actually a drill that I learned how to practice speed on, I'm going to show you a different way to approach your barrel without restarting the pattern every single time. So you can actually just pick a spot, even if you pick a circle to help them pick up their lead. And here I'm gonna do it right before my second barrel, so it's the same angle as I would coming through the whole pattern. And I'm gonna just go ahead and turn it, and he turns it beautifully. So this is where I end my ride. So there's lots of room for improvement, but I'm pretty happy with that, I'm not gonna lie. See him walking with his head down? And we've had a lot of issues with anxiety. So when he does something like this, especially new that he hasn't been really doing, and he handles it like this, I don't bug him too much. I like to have positive experiences. And right now he's walking on a loose rein with no contact, turning his barrels. A couple years ago, I would not have been able to do this. So that's a way for especially a horse like Wilson who gets so anxious. I can isolate and work each barrel at a faster pace without blowing up his little mind. It's something I need to work on more, but what it does is it kind of helps build his confidence, and it builds my confidence. Well, it builds my confidence more than his, but it also kind of builds that line of communication. Now with an anxious horse like Wilson, this is the end of our ride. He's done really good. So now I just let him stand here. I'm just gonna let him relax for a minute, let him think about what just happened, and then I'm gonna get off him immediately and I'm gonna uncinch him like I do with everybody. Caden's been a freaking trooper this morning, and now I think we're gonna head to the beach. You walking pone pone? Good job. Bring here. Are you loving it? I think your diaper has more water than the lake. I think it's pretty cute that they always bring it back together, actually. You getting it out of the pool? Oh, you gonna go 1, 2, 3 bum drop? 1, 2, 3, bum drop. 1, 2, 3, bum drop. Yeah. How fast can you go? Kaden, can you go give Kenzie a hug? Aww, nice job.